Today we have the second part of how to measure your impact, and as I mentioned, we will have probably more episodes coming up, although we might proceed with a different topic, but every once in a while there's new things to share and we will continue on this. So the first thing I would like to talk about is B corporations or benefit corporations, B Corps, also called. There's two things to basically distinguish. On the one hand, you have the B Corporation as a certification program to certify sustainable companies. And on the other hand, you have a legal institution, a legal body called Benefit Corporation. In some countries, like the US, I think in Peru, now in Spain, and other countries worldwide, they've established a legal form for a company, like how we have in Germany GmbH, in English limited, in Espanol limitada. You have, for example, this limited kind of companies, or you have stock companies, and now there's also a B corporation, no? A benefit corporation. You have to fulfill certain legal requirements. I'm not a lawyer, so please don't ask me those specifications now. Yet, when you look at the B certification, they encourage you to go towards that kind of legal form too, to really go a step further than just doing the sustainability reporting and auditing. So this legal form, depending on the jurisdiction, can imply tax incentives and other benefits. So it makes sense to become a benefit corporation. And that's why they established that. So it's a good step forward to distinguish those companies from others. And then also in the light of the EU taxonomy, this will become quite interesting. So now I wanted to show you actually this website and look at it a little bit more in detail. So same picture. So I hope you see now my computer screen. Yes, you should be. So I can also just encourage you to check out their website. And right now, Seeds for Sustainability is the common good economy certified company. But my wish for Seeds is also that we will become a benefit corporation, which legally now it's not possible yet because it's still on a single company, and Seeds for Sustainability is an online platform, but the limited company Seeds for Sustainability exists, but at the moment is inactive, so I can't use it for the certification. So once the growth permits, we are able to also opt for this kind of certification. The common good balance sheet was possible because as a freelancer or as a single person, you can also do the balance sheet, and that's basically what we did. So in any case, why do I want to join this movement? On the one hand, it's also analyzing triple bottom, or the three pillars of sustainability: ecological, social, and environmental. So it is ESG because it looks at risk and looks at governance. But that's not the main reason. My main incentive to join is for visibility and the marketing and the movement which is established. I really believe, like I always say, in the methodology, for example, of the common good balance sheet. But the marketing side of B Corps is basically unbeatable, and they're growing fast. Like if you go on Instagram, I follow 3 accounts: an international one, the Spanish one, and the European one. And even in Spain, you see weekly new companies joining, and the European one is like every other day, like almost every day you see a new post on, hey, we have a new member in the movement, and then they even make cool videos. I mean, they cross brand. It's really the movement itself pushes the brand, and that gives lots of incentives, of course, for the new members basically to use the brand too. So from a brand and branding perspective, it's quite powerful. But not just that, the methodology has some rigor. It can be audited, so certified. It's maybe not independently from a third-party audit that could be set as a as a con, I'm sorry. Yet it is very rigorous in a way, so it's not just filling out a letter of intent or something like that. So let's look what the website tells us, because basically that's the information we have. So B Corp certification is a designation that a business is meeting high standards of verified performance, accountability, and transparency. I mean, that's what it says. Although you will find companies within the B Corps where you might say, okay, why is that a B corporation? And how is it audited? And how can I verify that information? And it has some downsides. If you look, for example, on certain websites from these B corporations, you don't always find their report. So, anyways, a B corporation, and in order to achieve the certification, like all, you get your overall score. So you have governance, very explicit. We can see what areas, 18 questions. I've only answered one so far. Like I said, this is quite recent, haven't started really. And now this is just for demonstration purposes. Yeah, another very important area in the B Corps is workers. This also, we think of the common balance sheet. We have the same thing, workers. So different stakeholder groups, same thing here. We see now we have different stakeholder groups. Community, same thing in the common balance sheet. It's the E for environment, for your community. Same thing, basically. Then environment, not stakeholder related, more transversal. Then again, stakeholder related customers and questions regarding disclosure. So why don't we look at governance? Because you will see that other factors than what we normally think about when we talk about sustainability are here, like sustainability might think of, like I said, circular economy, like producing no waste, low emissions, things like that. And here we see, okay, it's not just that, it's also how we manage and govern our company in general, and then specifically regarding sustainability. So here we have one section, mission and engagement. When you look at the common balance sheet, you would also have to talk about your mission and how your products and your company in general wants to contribute to the common good. If you talk about GRIs, you will see too, we have like universal standards where you also have to show about your management system that is in place and your mission. So this is looking a bit different in each certification, but overall, it will be more or less the same information, maybe set up a bit differently, evaluated a bit differently, but more or less you grab the same information. Although the governance is very different in many cases, but called differently at least. So you would have one question, for example, describe your company's approach to creating positive impact. All qualitative information, like, okay, we are creating positive, it's not a focus for our business, or we occasionally think about it, we frequently consider, we consistently incorporate, we treat as primary measure. So you're already, if you're thinking of statistics, if you have ever worked with statistics and data and how to extract from a questionnaire measurable values so you can calculate something with that, that's what I have been doing when I research for the university. When you create databases and then put all kinds of econometric analysis on it, because here you already see maybe 0, 1, 2, 3, 5, so you have a ranking already. So this would maybe give 0 points, this will give 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, depending how they code it. But you already see, okay, this is to quantify your impact by putting qualitative information, and then they have obviously behind it a way to quantify. Now we're talking about how to measure your impact. So it's always question answers and a way to calculate points many times. So here you would get points similar to the common balance sheet. So I like those two a lot because they explicitly give you points and not just say, okay, we give you a stamp. So you have also a level of achievement. Okay. But easy to fill out, in this case. Here, describe your company's formal written corporate mission statement. Include any of the following. So obviously, as a company, you should have a mission. But they're already asking, okay, does it have to do anything with sustainability? Or is sustainability just an add-on? Like now the big companies are obligated to report on sustainability. It's another compliance thing they have to do, but it's not their DNA. It's not because they intrinsically want to be a sustainable company. They're obligated, but this B Corps is checking how is your DNA. regarding sustainability. And the more it's incorporated in your company, like wine permaculture, for example. This is a company that deals only and exclusively with permaculture design, which is a synonym for the most sustainable. So obviously, you would say here it's fully part of our mission, for example. So you would start again, no social or environmental commitment, or just a general commitment to social and environmental responsibility. For example, conserve the environment, or commitment to a specific positive social impact, like we want, like for example, specific SDG, or an NGO with, hey, we're dealing with hunger, or we're dealing with poverty, or we're dealing with vaccination in developing countries, things like that. Also. Or commitment to specific environmental impact, but it's just specific, not global ESG or global sustainability or regeneration. And then a commitment to serve a target beneficiary group in need. So you would have to say something about this here, and it goes on like that. And here, for example, you can't even upload your own real mission statement, and then it gets evaluated. And this is how it goes on. And this is just governance. And you see, it's I think 18 questions, and then you would here go basically to the next section. Now you have questions regarding the workforce, workers impact area introduction. So this is also interesting to see. How much people do you pay per hour, and how many people do you have contracted on a salary base? Tells us something about also the ethics maybe of your company, because hiring somebody on a fixed salary means